Hi class, welcome to topic 1 DQ1. In this DQ, we're going to look at some introductory formulas in Excel. We're going to make sure we look at using cell references and formatting each cell. So for each gold cell, we'll make sure we enter an Excel formula. Each blue cell will be typing in words, and each green cell will be typing in numbers. So for the first step on the DQ, please enter your name in the blue cell. You need your name in the blue cell to generate the values you're going to use on the DQ. So enter your name in that blue cell in I2. After you enter your name, you should see values appear for A and B. So we're going to be starting in this first box up here. We're going to be entering formulas into these gold cells. So after you enter your name, you should see numbers appear in the gray. The numbers are going to be different for everybody, so just be aware of that. In the gold cells, you're going to be entering formulas. The formula you need to follow is entered next to the gold cell. So for the first one, I want to take a formula that takes A plus B. So I'm going to be taking my 12 and adding my 9 to it, my A plus B. I want to make sure I use an Excel formula with cell references. So to start the formula, I would start by typing an equal sign in my cell. The equal sign tells Excel we're going to use a formula. So always start gold cells with that equal sign. After the equal sign, I want to take A plus B. I want to make sure I cell reference each of these. So instead of typing in my numbers, I'm going to go over to where A is, and I'm going to click on the number that represents A. So I'm going to click on my 12. When I click on my 12, Excel is going to type B6 into the cell. So I click on the 12 and Excel will type that B6. Then on my keyboard, I'll type the plus because we're adding. And then I need to go type on my B value. My B value is 9, so then I'll click on the 9. And then Excel will type in the C6 for me. The C6 is a cell name containing the 9, containing my B value. After I get that B value in there, I'm at the end of my formula. I did A plus B. So then once I get that B value in there, I'll hit enter, and then my answer will appear in the cell. So then now let's repeat the process for subtraction. So I want to use an Excel formula that takes A minus B. So I'll start with my equal sign. I'll go find my number that represents A, click on it, type a minus, find that number that represents B, click on it, and then I'll hit enter. And then keep repeating the process for each formula. Make sure you change the symbol as you go. So after the subtraction, now we're going to do multiplication. We're going to take A times B. So I'll start with my equal sign. I'll find the number that represents my A. I'll click on it. When I click on it, Excel will type in that B6 for me. After I click on that A value, I'll type my symbol where we're on multiplication. So I'll type my star. And then after the star, I need the B value, which is my 9. So I'll go find that 9 and I'll click on it and then hit enter. And then keep moving down the table. The next one's division. So start with my equal sign, find that A value, click on it, type my slash for division, find that B value, and click on it. And note, I'm clicking on the numbers, not the letters. So I'm making sure I'm clicking on that 12 and 9, not the A and the B. And then hit enter once you finish the formula. Last formula here, this is our exponent. So we're going to take A to the B. So we're going to take 12 to the 9 power. So we'll type our equal sign. We want to start with A, so click on the 12. Then we need to type in that up arrow that's above your 6 on your keyboard. So type in that up arrow for your exponent, and then click on your B value, and then hit enter. After we've done our Excel formulas, we need to check for formatting instructions. Formatting instructions could be anywhere on the Excel document. Typically, they're located in the instructions at the beginning or next to the cell you're working. We need to format the results as number with 2 decimal places. So here it tells us at the bottom of the table, format the results as number with 2 decimal places. So I'm going to click on my results. I'm going to go up to my toolbar where it has my formatting directions. I'm going to click number because I need the number with 2 decimal places. So I start with the number, and then I double check they all have 2 decimal places. So my decimal places are good to go. If I didn't have 2 decimal places, I would use these circles with blue arrows to adjust my decimal places until they're right. You can also right-click on the cell and format cells. So another way to format is I could highlight all the cells I want to format, right-click, go to Format Cells, and then under Number, go to Number. That's where you're going to find your formatting. Choose the number, and then set the number of decimal places to 2, and then hit OK. All right, so that completes the first table. After you've done this table, we're going to scroll down and we're going to work on range functions. Range functions are very helpful in Excel when you're working on more than 1 or 2 values. So here we're going to be using functions on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells. 8 cells. So instead of having to click on each one of these individually, using a range can help cut down on that time. So some examples of range functions you'll see in this class are the average. The average function finds the average of a set of data, also known as our mean. We have the sum function that will add up everything. The sum function is very helpful when you need to find totals. And then we'll have the product function that will multiply everything together. Okay, so how do these work? So like before, you are going to start with that equal sign in your cell because you're doing an Excel formula. So you'd start with your equal sign, and then you type in the word of the appropriate function. So for the first one, I'm finding the average. So I would type my equal sign, and then I type in the word average. As you do this, it should pop up on the bottom. So you can double click that and Excel will type it in for you, or you can continue typing it yourself. Upper or lowercase does not matter. Get that word average in there and then an open parenthesis. After we have the open parenthesis, we need to put the range of cells we want it to average. This is going to be the list of data we have. So we have new numbers at the second part. We need to put in all the cell references for this data. So I want to highlight the data to include it as a range in the function. So I'm going to start with my 1. I'm going to click, hold, and drag all the way down to the 8. As I do that, Excel will type in E18:E25. And then once it's typed in, you're going to put your cursor after that, close the parentheses, and then hit enter. And this will represent the average of all of this data. So if we had all of this data, the average would be 5.5. All right, let's do the sum. So let's pretend we're finding the total. We need to find the total of the data. We need to find the sum. We need to add it all up. So again, I'll start with my equal sign, type in the word sum, open parentheses, and then I want to highlight all the data I want to sum. So I'm going to click on the 1, hold, and drag it to the 8. So click on the 1, hold that click, and drag it down to the 8. Let go of the click, close your parentheses, and hit enter. All right, let's do it one more time for the product now. The product is going to multiply everything together, so this one's going to be a large number. So we're going to start with our equal sign, type the word product, open parentheses, and then highlight all of those cells. Once we're done highlighting, close the parentheses and hit enter. All right, so like before, we've done all of our formulas, so let's now check our formatting. Okay, so formatting directions here, they're sitting next to the cell. Looks like all of them are different. So for the first one, we need to format it to show 2 decimal places. So right now it's only showing 1 decimal place. So I'm going to go up here to my decimal places and I want to increase the decimal by 1. So then I'll have 2 digits after my decimal point. All right, for the next one, for the sum, it says format to show 1 decimal place. Right now I'm showing no decimal places, so we'll increase that 1 by 1 as well. Ooh, increased by too much, so let me go back to 1. There we go, 1 decimal place. All right, and then for the last one, we need to format this one to show 3 decimal places. Right now it's showing no decimal places, so I need to increase it to 3. So I'll hit my increase until I get 3 digits after that decimal. All right, and that completes the DQ. That completes your first Excel assignment. Make sure you attach this onto your submission and post it in the forum to finish your DQ. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.